I am Reed, I am 27, just an average dude. I've made tons of money mistakes in my 20s, and now I want to share everything I've learned to help you take control of your finances and your life. Alright, so let me start off by saying something that might make you uncomfortable. Most people who are bad with money don't actually have a money problem. They have a psychology problem. I know that sounds like some self-help guru nonsense, but stick with me because I lived this. When I was 22, I was working a job I hated, making like 38 grand a year, and somehow I still managed to be in credit card debt. I had maybe $6,000 in debt, which I know to some people that sounds small and to others that sounds insane. But for me at that time, it felt like a mountain I would never climb. I remember sitting in my crappy apartment that I could barely afford, eating instant ramen for the third night in a row, wondering how I got there. The wild thing is I wasn't even spending money on anything crazy. I wasn't buying designer clothes or going on vacations. I was just living, and somehow living was bankrupting me. Now here's the truth nobody wants to tell you. You didn't end up in this situation because the economy is unfair or because your boss underpays you or because rent is too high. Some of that might be true, but that's not the root cause. The root cause is that nobody taught you how to think about money. Your parents probably didn't teach you because they didn't know either. School definitely didn't teach you. So you walked into adulthood with zero programming around what money actually is and how it works. And then society filled in the blanks with whatever garbage it wanted. You were told money is hard to make. You were told rich people are greedy. You were told that investing is for Wall Street guys in suits. And you believed all of it without questioning any of it. Because why would you question it? That's what everyone around you believed too. So here's the first and most important shift you have to make. Money problems don't exist. Psychological problems do. Every single money struggle you have comes down to a belief you hold that is limiting you. If you believe money is hard to make, you will never look for ways to make it easier. If you believe you don't deserve wealth, you will self-sabotage every time you start getting ahead. If you believe all businesses are scams, you will write off every opportunity that comes your way before you even understand it. I was guilty of all of this, by the way. I used to roll my eyes at anyone who talked about starting a business or learning a skill to make extra money. I thought they were all full of it. Meanwhile, I was sitting on my couch complaining that I couldn't afford to live. Do you see the problem now? So let me break down something I call the 4 levels of purpose when it comes to money. This is a framework I came up with after years of thinking about why I was stuck and why I see so many other people stuck too. The first level is survival. This is where most people live, and I mean most. Look at the stats. In 2025, the personal savings rate in America dropped to around 3.6%. That is basically nothing. People are spending almost everything they make, and then some. The average credit card debt per each household is over 10 grand. Over half of Americans have zero retirement savings. This is the survival stage. You take whatever job you can get because you have bills to pay. You wake up, you go to work, you come home, you eat something convenient, you scroll your phone, you go to sleep, and you do it all over again. There is no room for thinking about the future because you are too busy surviving the present. I was stuck here for years, and the way out is not what you think. The way out is not making more money right away, although that helps. The way out is becoming so disgusted with where you are that you finally snap and decide to change. For me, that moment came when I realized I was 23 years old with no savings, no investments, and no plan, and I was on track to be 30 with no savings, no investments, and no plan. That terrified me. So I started reading, I started learning, I started questioning everything I believed about money. The second level is status. This is when you've crawled out of the survival hole enough to start caring about what other people think. You get a better job, you buy a nicer car, you get an apartment in a better neighborhood. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that on its own. The problem is when you get stuck here. A lot of people do. They get the promotion, they get the raise, they buy the things, and then they realize they still feel empty. The money comes in and it goes right back out because now you have a lifestyle to maintain. You upgraded your problems. Instead of worrying about how to pay rent, you're worrying about how to pay for the car payment and the nicer apartment and the dinners out that your new social circle expects. This is the trap. I fell into it too. When I finally got out of debt and got a slightly better job, I immediately started spending more. It is so easy to do. The way out of the status stage is to realize that stuff doesn't make you happy. It sounds cliche, but it's true. The car gets old after 2 weeks. The watch stops feeling special. What actually lasts is the feeling of being in control of your own life. That feeling doesn't come from what you own. It comes from knowing you are building something real. The third level is creativity. This is where things start to get interesting. Once you have enough money to survive and you have broken free from needing external validation, you start to crave autonomy. You want to build something that is yours. You want to wake up and work on things that actually matter to you. This is where people start businesses. This is where they write books or make content or build products. The money is no longer the goal. The money is fuel for the work you actually want to do. And this is also where most people get scared because creativity requires risk. It requires putting yourself out there. It requires failing in public. But I promise you this is the most fulfilling stage because you are no longer working for someone else's dream. You are working on your own. For me, this happened when I started putting my thoughts out there online. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just a normal guy talking about money and life and the stuff I was learning. But something clicked. People resonated with it because I was being real. I wasn't pretending to be a guru. I was just sharing my journey. And slowly that turned into something that turned into a business, that turned into freedom. The fourth level is contribution. This is where it all circles back. You realize that the whole point of building wealth and gaining skills and creating things is not just for you. It's for other people too. You start teaching what you know. You start helping others skip the mistakes you made. You realize that the most fulfilling thing you can do with your money and your time is to pass it forward. And I know that sounds like some fluffy feel-good nonsense, but it's real. I have experienced it when I help one person figure out their finances or start their own thing. That feeling beats any paycheck I have ever gotten. This is the end game. This is why money exists in the first place. It's not to buy stuff, it's to give you the freedom to contribute at a higher level. Now let me talk about the difference between a job, a career, and a calling, because I think this is where a lot of people get confused. A job is what you do to survive. You trade your time for money. You clock in and clock out. There is nothing wrong with a job. I had jobs. You need a job when you don't know what you want yet, or when you are still building your skills. But a job is not the end game. A career is a step up. You are committed to growing. You are learning skills. You are climbing a ladder. A career gives you more money and more challenge, but you are still working within a system someone else built. A calling is different. A calling is work you cannot pull yourself away from. It is the thing you think about when you are in the shower. It is the thing you would do even if nobody paid you, but people pay you anyway because you are so good at it. A calling is not assigned to you. You discover it by trying things, by failing, by experimenting until you find the intersection of what you are good at, what you enjoy, and what people will pay for. Most people never find their calling because they stop looking, they get comfortable in the job or the career, and they convince themselves that this is as good as it gets. It is not. So here's the practical part. How do you actually make money as a skill? Step 1, understand the psychology of one person. That person is you. What problems have you faced in your life? What did you figure out? What do you know now that you wish you knew 5 years ago? That is your product. That is your value. You take that knowledge and you package it. Step 2, create a solution. It could be a course, a coaching program, a template, a newsletter, a YouTube channel. It does not matter what format. What matters is that you solve a real problem for real people, not a fake problem, a real problem, something that keeps people up at night, something they would pay to fix. Step 3, build an audience. You do this by sharing your journey online for free. You give away your best stuff. You build trust. You show people that you know what you are talking about because you lived it. Then when you have something to sell, they will buy it because they already trust you. Step 4, systemize your promotion. Most people fail here because they create one piece of content or send one email and then give up when nobody buys. You need to promote your offer every single day in some capacity, not in a spammy way, in a helpful way. Show people how your solution changes lives. Step 5, iterate and persist. This is the hardest step. You will fail. Your first product will probably not sell. Your first 10 videos will probably get 10 views. That is normal. That is how it works. You keep tweaking, you keep improving, you keep showing up until it clicks. I want to be honest with you about something. The reason most people never make real money is not because they lack talent or intelligence. It is because they quit too soon. They try one thing for a month, and when it doesn't work, they say, "See, I told you it was a scam." And they go back to their job and their debt and their survival mode, and they tell themselves it is just how life is, but it is not how life is. It is how your choices made life. And you can make different choices starting right now. You can learn a skill, you can start a side hustle, you can pay off your debt, you can build a savings account, you can start a business. It is all available to you. It has always been available to you. You just needed someone to tell you that it was possible. So consider this me telling you, it is possible. The truth is that making money is a skill. Just like playing guitar or cooking or learning a language, nobody picks up a guitar and plays a perfect solo on day one. But people expect to make 6 figures without putting in any practice on their money skills. That is insane. You have to study. You have to practice. You have to fail, you have to learn from that failure and try again. That is the process. There are no shortcuts. But the good news is that the process works every single time if you stick with it. I am proof of that. I was a broke 22-year-old with nothing going for me, and now at 27, I run my own business. I have savings, I have investments, and most importantly, I have control over my time. I wake up when I want, I work on what I want, I help who I want. That is the real wealth, not the money in the bank, the freedom to choose. So here's what I want you to do if you are watching this and you feel stuck. First, stop blaming everyone else. I know that sounds harsh, but it is the truth. As long as you blame the economy or your boss or your parents for your situation, you are giving away your power. Take responsibility for where you are today, not because it is your fault, but because taking responsibility is the only way to take control. Second, pick one skill that can make money and start learning it today, not tomorrow. Today, there are a million free resources online. You have no excuse. Third, start sharing what you learn publicly. It does not matter if nobody is watching at first. You are building a muscle. You are documenting your journey. You are becoming the person who knows what they are talking about. Fourth, create something to sell. It can be small. It can be a $5 PDF. It does not matter. Get in the game. Fifth, promote that thing every day until it sells. And when it sells, make it better and sell it again. That is the whole game. That is how you make as much money as you want. I know this was a long one, but I felt like I had to get all of this out because I see so many people struggling with the same stuff I struggled with. And I know they don't need another complicated strategy. They need a mindset shift. They need someone to tell them that they are not broken and that their situation is not permanent and that they have the power to change it starting today. So take this seriously. Your 20s are your most valuable years for building the foundation of your life. Do not waste them. Do not sleepwalk through them like I almost did. Wake up, learn the skill, take the risk, and build the life you actually want. Peace.